Hi everyone, welcome to the Nice Guys Show. We're here every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, and I have my co-host with me again. I have Kathy with My Healing Sanctuary, who is a spiritual intuitive and a life coach, and Michelle, Dr. Michelle, is also with me, who is a naturopathic doctor specializing in family medicine and sports medicine. So if you have any sports injuries, that's the girl you want to see. This week I have special guests on from Headlines, the Salon in Encinitas, and this is a good friend of mine, Connie. So she's going to talk a little bit about their business, and we also have the owner who's going to come in the next segment. So did you guys watch the Super Bowl yesterday?
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
What'd you think of the commercials? My thing with the commercials is I see them and I enjoy them, and I forget who they were for, except for Doritos. Doritos seems to be the only one I remember who it was.
Yep.
But like the dog one with that was Volkswagen, right? Because I remember the Beetle.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you like
and
that
then
one?
the Kia
So
one.
cute.
What was the Kia one?
The Sandman, Mr. Sandman.
Ah,
like
yeah,
the dreams.
Yeah. Where the guy dumped the whole thing of,
Yep.
of fairy dust on him.
Yep.
That was a good one. I think the Ferris Bueller one was my favorite. Did you see that one?
Wait, what was that for though? I was just so hooked on him.
Wasn't it for
It
a
was
car? Was it a
Volkswagen.
car company?
Or
Volkswagen.
Hyundai. Wasn't it Hyundai?
No, I think it was Volkswagen.
Jeez.
I don't remember.
It was,
yeah, I
it was
think
like a
for sure.
van though, right?
Yeah, it was like a
minivan type of
in between kind of thing.
thing.
But it was funny, especially when the guy was holding the keys going, Bueller.
Bueller.
Awesome. It was brilliant. But the game was good too. I know y'all ain't huge football fans, but it was a good game. It was an interesting game.
Well, I'm a huge football fan, and I was upset that the Pats lost.
That's
upset?
what I was going to say. I am a huge football fan too, and I was
You like
really,
the Chargers though.
I was really bummed that New York won.
Yeah, me too. I know.
I didn't care
Yes,
who else
yeah.
won. It was
Yes,
just not New
San
York.
Diego people don't like the New York Giants much because Eli, right?
Manning.
Yeah.
Eli spurned the San Diego
That's
Chargers to go there,
right.
but it turns out it was a smart move on his part, so I can't hate the guy for that.
Yeah.
You know? Turned out good for him. Well, we started last week talking a little bit about depression and treatments for depression. So let's start with Kathy. And do you have clients that come in with depression problems, and how do you treat it?
Absolutely. What we talked a little bit about last time was getting to the source of what it is. You know, is it hereditary? Is it circumstantial? Is it lack of sleep? Is it a trauma that's been, not addressed, not healed? So there's several ways. I would first, send them to somebody like Michelle here to address all the natural medicinal options. But I do a process called the journey process, which takes people, it's kind of like a form of hypnosis, and it accesses traumatic memories that are trapped in our cells. And those cells cannot reproduce at a healthy rate. So once you kind of pull up the memory or the trauma, it gets healed, and then the cells can start replicating at a healthier rate. And then, the symptoms and stuff, it's kind of like a ceiling fan that's really fast and it starts winding down, but it really is like shedding layers, cleaning from the inside out psychologically. And I've had great success with chronic illnesses, cancer, depression, eating disorders, addiction, anything, yeah.
What are the signs of depression? I think Michelle, what Melissa brought it up last week, right, to you, about how do you know if you're sad versus depressed?
Oh, yeah. Well, usually you look to see, is your activities of daily living, have they changed? So, you could be a little bit sad, like, man, I just really don't feel like going to work today. I didn't get a good night's sleep, or I don't know, my boyfriend and I are having a little rough patch, and you could be just a little bit down, so slightly depressed or sad. But when you stop wanting to do the things that you normally love to do, you stop enjoying life, you kind of take on a little bit more of a negative attitude, and really, the activities of daily living that is as part of who you are, when those begin to change more, that's really when you can say, hey, this is leading more towards a clinical depression. And how long has it been like this?
Right.
Is it a week or two, or are we getting into more like the 3-month range? So anything over 3 months where it's kind of, I guess, a persistent diagnosis or persistent symptoms, that's when you're going to kind of say, we maybe need to talk about what's really going on here.
Yeah, I had I'd say a bout with depression back when I was going through a divorce, and what kind of ticked me off to the point that I was actually having depression problems was I was losing weight. I wasn't hungry, I couldn't eat, and so it's a good diet, but not the way you want to lose weight. You don't want to have marital problems to lose weight. That's not good. And Chuck is Connie's husband, and he's a dear friend of mine, and he just went through a heart problem that was scary as heck. Maybe you want to tell us a little bit about what happened.
It out of the blue. Some chest pains at work, and he said, I think I need to go to the hospital. I think I'm having a heart attack or something. And they took him to the hospital, and everything seemed to be fine. They went through the EKGs, the all the tests that they run, and it wasn't until a stress test where he couldn't even go for 5 minutes on a treadmill that they said, we need to go in and we need to look further. And he ended up having 98% blockage in one of his main arteries, and no health issues up to that. No blood pressure, cholesterol, any of that stuff. So it really took us, like, it was a life-changing shock. It was kind of
absolutely.
Yeah, and Chuck's a big, strong guy, but I mean, he's not overweight, and he takes care of himself. Every time we go out, he eats all the best stuff. So, it was definitely had nothing to do with him abusing his body with diet or anything like that. But how scary is that? Just all of a sudden, and Chuck's 52, 51.
51.
Yeah, he's 1 year older than me.
They actually, it happens to a lot of men between the ages of 50 and 60, and that's really a scary window for a lot of men, just because, especially active ones too, which is kind of the ironic part about it.
And it kind of makes you take a look at, wait, I am human. And am I old?
Yeah.
I'm not old enough for this.
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
Yeah, well, when he texted me and told me that he was going through this, he was basically like, you know what, I'm not ready to die yet. I'm not ready for this, and it just really hit me. It's like, wow, this guy's my age, active like me, and just that's got to be a life changer for sure. Yeah. So how are they treating him now? He's taking all kinds of meds.
It's funny because you go from 0 to 60. Absolutely no medication to this pile of pills on the counter that he's like, I got to remember to take these, and it's really tough.
Yeah, and then the pills come with their own side effects and everything.
Exactly.
So you have natural things natural alternatives that you would suggest.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you do deal with the diet component, you deal with the movement component, but then you really want to get into what is your sleep like, what is your stress like, and how are you dealing with it. And then other aspects, familial aspects, and just kind of who he is and how he, moves throughout this world. And then you get into, you can use different herbs to help drain the heart of any sort of toxic buildup. And then, now that he's actually on the medications, you would really want to support the liver and the gut as he's taking these medications. And from our brief conversation, it sounds like he's on a lot of things that really he didn't need. It was more of a fear-based, tactic for the MDs, and I respect the fact they need to feel like they need to cover their butt. But the truth of the matter is that his body really didn't need it, and it really is about, well, why did you have that big of a blockage? Why wasn't your body showing signs, or it probably was, but why weren't you paying attention to them? And how can you change different parts of your lifestyle and gain body awareness so that you can actually live a healthier and longer life?
Right. Well, they say you should take a baby aspirin a day. Is that still true?
Yeah,
they have
actually
the low dose now. They have they actually make a dosage.
Yeah.
And it just thins your blood out and.
Yeah, I think doing fish oils is better. It does the same thing. And
how do you do fish oils? I mean, by capsule or?
Well, I prefer to do it in liquid form. Yeah. Like Soroil has a really great product that actually tastes really lemony. Like my patients absolutely love it. Like they don't get the burps, they don't get the GI upset and the bloating. They don't smell like or taste like fish.
Right.
But yeah, I prefer to drink it, or you can put it in a smoothie, or you can sprinkle it on your salad. Yeah. But yeah, you could do pill form if you prefer.
You do fish oil, Kathy?
Tons.
Where do you get it?
Through my naturopath, and also at Jimbo's, Henry's, Whole Foods, you can get really good high quality.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the one you're recommending, Doc, is that?
Well, I like the Soroil based one. It's a company that I use out of Canada, and it's because they get all of their fish oils from wild fish in Alaska and Canada. So it's cold water fish, which I really like, and they do kelp, they do salmon, a little bit of sardine. So I don't know, I just prefer it. Because I know the quality, the FDA regulations aren't as strong as it is like in Europe and as well as in Canada. So I know it's a higher based quality product.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's good to know. Maybe I'll have to start taking fish oil just as a preventative measure. And then, I suffer from this sleep issues. And I find someone told me that your liver tries to get rid of your alcohol that you've had throughout the day in the middle of the night.
So from 1 to 3.
Right?
Really?
Maybe it was you that told me that.
Yeah.
Because I do have that problem where I'll wake up. I think it's just because I have to pee. But, I will wake up 2:30 in the morning and it's like, oh, why am I awake? So what are some of the common causes of sleep issues other than stress, obviously?
Well, I do want to reiterate that stress is the biggest one. And then also it's the fact that I'll just take stress to another level. We are in such a different rhythm than what our body really wants that, they always talk about, REM sleep here, there, blah, blah, blah. But what happens is your stress glands, your adrenal glands, they release cortisol, which is kind of that, let's go, let's do it, hormone. And it's supposed to be really high at 7 a.m. and then it gets gets a little bit higher around noon, and then it starts to taper off around 4, and then by the time you hit 11 o'clock at night, you're not producing any.
Okay.
And so that's the natural rhythm your body's supposed to be on. But what's happening is with all the caffeine that we're drinking, the all-nighters we try to pull, with the constant travel, it's just all of those kind of stresses is changing that natural rhythm. And so I would say stress is actually a whole heck of a lot bigger than we think. Because it can be emotional stress, environmental stress, food stress. What else? There was something that you said that triggered something in me, and I can't think of what it is. I don't know. Do you have a thought?
The alcohol part?
Oh, yeah, alcohol is huge. Well,
between coffee and wine, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's because of the sugars, really.
Yeah.
Because then your body starts to spike,
Right.
and it's like, oh, heck, I got to start going again. And so it's this false level of energy, or I need to start producing more energy.
Okay, so what about treating it? I mean, are the like the chamomile teas and there's a certain kind of sleeping pill you can take that's natural. It's like
Melatonin.
yeah.
Okay, so
Valerian root.
I actually don't like melatonin.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll use it in small amounts because melatonin will help the serotonin, which is your happy hormone, which gives you energy, increase. But usually we get into what's the mental emotional going on. Let's get sleep hygiene. We can talk about that later. Mm-hmm. But it's also just about reestablishing that routine, that rhythm. And then you can use herbs, like you said, valerian, melissa, hyssop, different ways, passiflora.
They will work.
Yeah.
Very good.
Help
All right.
relax
It's good
the
to know.
system. Yeah.
And you get all these at Jimbo's and Henry's and all the typical places?
You can, but I would definitely recommend seeing somebody so that you can understand specifically what it is for you that your body needs.
Okay. Well, I think we're running out of time on this segment. When I come back, I'm going to have Gail and Connie from Headline, The Salon in Encinitas, and they're going to talk to us about hairstyles. They got a special for men this week. Be right back.